Morning, profitable traders. Welcome to today's market color session. Being the 3rd of October 2025. So good to have each and every one of you around. I'd like to crave your indulgence to kindly share the link to this market color session with everyone on our various social media platforms so that this can get to as many people as possible. For this segment of the market color session, I'll be analyzing GBP USD, EUR USD, and DXY. Right after that, my colleague Lekon coming up for his analysis on gold and the yen basket. Right, please share the link to this session with everyone on your various social media platforms. Sorry for the breaking transmission. Right, so starting with the X1 monthly time frame, nothing has really changed from what we've been analyzing for a period of time now, right? Overall bullish sweep of liquidity. Then we're seeing some downward move. We're coming down to the weekly time frame also. On the weekly time frame, we're even seeing price breaking even lower. And we can actually see that price has traded into some discount level. So we expect to see some push to the upside overall over a long period of time, long term. I expect to see price retrace at least into the left shoulder at 107.490. I beg your pardon. There's another block residing right there, and there's even a fair value gap. So we're just going to be marking those points of interest out. Fair value gap right here, and then another block coinciding with the left shoulder at 107.490. I'm coming down to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, beg your pardon. On the daily time frame, price has been stalled a bit, retraced, and then we saw price, going higher, right? And we were speculating that we wanted to see price retrace into this left shoulder over a long period of time, of course. But then price just tapped into this level, and we're seeing some reaction to the downside. But are we expecting to see price do on 4-hour time frame? Price has, traded upwards, retraced a bit, traded into this fair value gap, filled this fair value gap right here on the 4-hour time frame, and we're seeing some push to the upside. On the 1-hour time frame, looking out for entries, I can spot one for the buy entry on the XY. Shoulder at 97.647, sweep to the downside, break to the upside. All we want to see price do is for price to retreat right back into this left shoulder and eventually trading to this fair value gap right here. It's a fair value gap right here. Let me mark that out. All right, so coinciding with the left shoulder. All right, so I'm expecting to see price retrace right back into the left shoulder and for price to fill the fair value gap on 1-hour time frame. And on the 15 minutes time frame also, pretty much the same thing, pretty much the same point of interest as to where we want to see price trading to on the 1-hour time frame. Shoulder also at 97.647, sweep to the downside, break to the upside. Once price retraces into this left shoulder, rest assured that I am looking out for buy opportunities on DXY. And right here, down to dollar correlated pairs, starting with Euro USD on the monthly time frame. Overall bearish, but then we've seen a break of the high at 1.11370. And we're seeing price even going all the way, traded into some premium level. We expect to see some sort of reaction. And on the daily time frame also, on daily time frame, I can actually spot the classic box pattern on daily time frame. Shoulder at this level, one spot 15503, sweep to the downside, break to the upside. We want to see price retracing right back into this left shoulder. There are 2 points of interest right here, an IOFED, fair value gap to the right and fair value gap to the left. And then there's left shoulder at one spot 15503. So once price retraces into these levels, I am interested in longing Euro USD. On the 4-hour time frame, let's see what price has for us. We're seeing structure to the downside on 4-hour time frame, right? Bearish overall. So coming down to the 1-hour time frame, on the 1-hour time frame, what are we looking out for? Establishing that price is bearish on the 4-hour time frame, and even on daily time frame, of course, we want to see price retracing into the left shoulder and into the IOFED to take buy opportunities. So we're looking out for sell opportunities until price retraces into the left shoulder. That's why I'm looking out for sell opportunities on the 1-hour time frame. So coming down to the 1-hour time frame, I can spot a classic box pattern that we use for entries right here at value flow trading. Shoulder at one spot 17424, sweep right here to the upside, break to the downside. Once price retraces into this level on the 1-hour time frame, rest assured that I will be shorting Euro USD. I'm looking out for short opportunities on Euro USD, and of course, this is where we want to see price retracing to. We want to see price retracing to one spot 17424, and once price gets there, I will be shorting. I beg your pardon. I will be shorting Euro USD on the 15 minutes time frame too, coinciding with a point of interest on the 1-hour time frame. I want to sell Euro USD once I see price retracing into one spot 17424 on the 15-minute time frame. And last on our list, being GBP USD on the monthly time frame. For GBP USD, overall structure is to the downside. And then coming right here, we saw that the most recent price action is actually bullish, right? This high has been taken out, price traded into some premium level. We're expecting to see some sort of retracement before continuing the long on GBP USD. And on the daily time frame also, on daily time frame, something to take note of, since the most recent price action is to the upside, I can actually spot the classic box pattern. Same thing we did on Euro USD. Shoulder right here at one spot 25004, sweep to the downside, break to the upside. Once we see price retracing right back into this left shoulder at one spot 25004, I'm willing to long GBP USD. Long term, of course, this is the weekly time frame. Even over a long period of time, we may see some retracement into this level, and then we may spot long opportunities. But coming down to the daily time frame, on the daily time frame, we can actually see that the box pattern strategy is quite close by. Shoulder right here at one spot 33678, sweep to the downside, break to the upside. Looks like price has already retraced into this level, and we're seeing some reaction. It is stalling, of course. So we're going to go to the 4-hour time frame to see if we can spot anything that, confirms the buy on the daily time frame. Of course, on the 4-hour time frame, overall structure is to the downside, right? Price just traded into this high, into this resistance level at one spot 35284, and we're seeing price stalling off that point. So coming down to the 1-hour time frame, establishing that structure is to the downside. On the 4-hour time frame, we haven't seen structure aligning for the buy on daily time frame yet. I'm just going to look out for sell opportunities instead. So I can spot the classic box pattern right here. Shoulder, beg your pardon. Shoulder at this level at 1.34871, sweep to the upside, break to the downside. We want to see price retrace right back into this left shoulder and trade into this fair value gap right here. Fair value gap right here. We have 2 points of interest, they're coinciding. So once price does this, I'm willing to short GBP USD. Once price retraces into 1.34871 on 1 hour time frame, rest assured that I am looking out for short opportunities. Please take note of these price points that we're calling out so you can get to execute your trades once you see price get to a various points of interest. And on the 15 minutes time frame too, we can see that it's coinciding with what's going on the 1 hour time frame. Shoulder at 1.34871, sweep right here to the upside, break to the downside. Once price retraces into the left shoulder at 1.34871, I will be pulling the trigger for a sell on GBP USD. Please, if you have questions at this point, kindly type in the chat box, or if you have a different bias from everything that has been analyzed, feel free. We're here to learn from each other, right? So while we're trying to piece our thoughts together, I'd like to announce that registration for the FX Bootcamp Training October edition is currently ongoing. You can send us a message on 081 1699 5030 on how to go about the registration. And also the Falcon 2.0 bot leasing service is currently ongoing, right? You need a minimum of $1,000 to start trading and $2,000 in your reserve, in your wallet rather. You get to keep all the profit that is being made by the bot, and all you need to pay is a subscription fee of $50. For more information on the Falcon 2.0 bot leasing service, visit the website valueflowtrading.com/Falcon. If there are no questions at this point, we'll be going on a very brief break, and after the break, we'll be going into the second segment of today's market color session by the Gold Master Lekon. Please do not go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly for the second segment. Cheers and God bless.
Market Color brought to you by the Value Flow Trading team. Once again, it's a very great one. That's a very insightful analysis from Cynthia. So this morning, let's quickly go into the analysis of the precious metal. And from there, we are going to quickly take a quick move to Japan to see what is really going on the yen basket. And we use that to determine our move on the yen correlated pair. Once again, I'm Lekon Shemi. Let's move together this morning. Starting with the precious metal, we've seen how the precious metal are creating highs and highs and highs and highs, moving up and up and up. Even when you start looking at it from the weekly time frame, you're going to discover since the breakout of this long-term range, we've not seen a single pullback. All we've been seeing on the chart has been and AI. So where exactly are we now going to join this move to the upside? What exactly are we supposed to do, and how do we go about it? Let's go to the daily time frame to see where the market is going to. On the daily time frame, it's still very much all the way upside. As you can see, the stretch is very, very long, and price has just been pulling through. Only for us to see yesterday, after creating a new high yesterday, the candlestick for yesterday closed bearish. And does that mean they pull back for the week? Let's see what does the price gives to us on the 4-hour time frame. Now, for the 4-hour time frame, after this particular candlestick trades to take out liquidity at somewhere at the edge here, we saw some kind of market structure shift somewhere here, and that becomes much more obvious on the daily time frame. Remember, on Monday, we're expecting after the breakout from this place that price should pull back a bit into this flip zone and start moving. But it came towards that place quite on Tuesday, and price kept on pushing all the way to the upside. Now, what is our move for the day? Because today being Friday, and moreover, today is a very eventful day concerning the dollar. So we are expecting to see NFP today. And if you look at it, we are seeing price creating more like a shoulder somewhere here. It becomes much more obvious if you check it on your 1-hour time frame. Looking at the 1-hour time frame, we've seen the sweep yesterday afternoon during the New York session open, and we've seen the sweep of liquidity of Wednesday, and price broke structure to the downside. So what is our expectation, especially today being Friday? So we're expecting pre-NFP. We want to see how that price trades into this zone and begin to turn to the downside. And knowing fully well what is going on in the United States right now, as the government is about to shut down, to say, and that is telling us what exactly we should look out for the expectation of NFP today. So there's high probability and high tendency we see NFP come out a bit weaker because of the workforce. And if that happens, then that means the precious metal is expected to rally more. But if it comes out, positive, then that means we are going to see some level of tanking to the downside. Moreover, I'm expecting today to be a mixed day for the precious metal, meaning at the release of the news, the right tendency we see more like a whipsaw price, eating to the upside and collapsing to the downside again. So before the news, we are most likely going to see a rally to this zone for a sell, then just a little quick scalp before the news. But I would advise, if you don't trade the news before, don't trade it today again. All right. So let's look at what is going to come out of that. All right. So that is that. We should just watch out to see what exactly is going to happen based on the news today. But if that is not going to show up, then that simply means we are going to have price, push a little bit down. All right, as someone said, NFP is most likely not going to be released today. I also expect that because of what is going on in the US. That most likely we don't see the news that comes out this afternoon. Sure, definitely. But if it comes out, then we know where we are heading to. But as a trader, just let's keep our hands crossed and watch out what is going to move up of it. All right. So let's say on the for the other pairs, let's quickly go to Japan to see what is going on. But for the precious metal, we have on the 1-hour time frame this setup already, and on the 15-minute time frame, if you observe that very well, you can see the structure there. And moreover, we have this fair value gap around this shoulder zone. Remember, we marked our shoulder from the 1-hour time frame. So the whole of this zone happens to be a sell zone. So we are expecting a push all the way to this zone into this fair value gap. And there is another tendency. This should be the first entry at this fair value gap, while the second entry is going to be somewhere at this other block here, right? So this is going to be it for the precious metal. First entry around this fair value gap, and second entry at this other block zone. In case you miss this, you can easily join here, or if you are not open to much more, SL, then you can wait for price to get here, which it may not get there. So let's look at it. You take that discretionary, right? So that is it for the precious metal moving forward. Let's quickly get to Japan to see what is happening on the yen basket. For the yen basket on the daily time frame, we are expecting price to come and take out this liquidity point on the yen basket. But at the open of the market this week, we see how that price only took out this low sometimes last week. And throughout this week, we've been bullish for the yen on the yen basket. Price has been pushing all the way to the upside. Would that just be a pullback for the continuation of the sell? Today being Friday, what exactly should be our outlook on the yen basket? So we are going to use the 4-hour time frame to justify that. After the massive long that we have on the yen basket, then what we need to do is draw our Fibonacci and see where price is most likely going to retrace to if trade wants to continue to long. Then we are expecting price to come to around the 50% fib level or towards the 61% fib level that we have somewhere here. So if that should be the case, then we are going to see the yen correlated pair long for today, because all throughout this week has been a sell day for the yen correlated pair throughout. All right, so that is that on the yen basket. And if you look at it on the 1-hour time frame too, you are going to observe after the massive push to the upside, now we are having a market structure shift. If you look at it very well, we are going to see that we already have a market structure shift somewhere around this zone to the downside for the yen basket. And when price does this, you know what it means. It's going to come back again to come and tap into this shoulder that we have here. And when price gets to this shoulder, we have a confluence just at the top there, which is this liquidity point resting above this level. So the whole of today's high, I mean the Asian high, is the liquidity level that we may see price pull all the way to take out that liquidity level and begin to tank. What am I trying to say in a nutshell for the yen basket is we are most likely going to see this today, and then we want to see the sell off again to continue itself onto our POI on the weekly time frame. All right, so that is the yen basket. Let's use that to determine what is going on the yen correlated pair. For GBP, JPY on the daily time frame, you are going to observe everywhere to remain bullish as price tapped into our POI for sell, but did not really enter properly. If you trace it all the way back, you are going to observe this is the POI for the sell, how that price tapped into it but did not really enter properly, and we begin to see the sell really selling to the downside. Now on the 4-hour time frame, what do we have there? We saw some market structure shift sometimes last week to the downside, and price pulled all the way back into the shoulder, as you can see, but did not take out liquidity around this level before it started selling all the way to the downside. So this was our expectation. Since we already see market structure shift, price pulled all the way into the shoulder and begin to sell. But because of this liquidity here, it looks a bit suspicious, but you can see how that price tapped into the POI and collapsed all the way to the downside. So where exactly is price heading to now? We've seen how price came to take out this liquidity level here. As we all know, price would always seek a liquidity point to another. Now, since price already takes out this liquidity, what should we look out for? We should look out for a market structure shift. And at the same time, remember, sometimes in August, we have a market structure shift for a buy, which we expect that if the sell start, it should react from this level. As you can see somewhere around this place, you can see what price did here. We've seen the sweep and we've seen the break, and price has really not come back to tap into this zone for a buy. So we are expecting that very soon, when the sell begins proper, when it starts selling all the way down, price should come all the way to this level. But based on today's analysis, what we are expecting on the yen basket, we already see market structure price already took out liquidity from this point. So let's go to our 1-hour time frame to see if we have market structure shift there. And right now, we've not had any market structure shift on the GBP JPY, as price has not already cleared this particular high. Until price takes out this high, then that is when we'll be looking out for opportunity to long GBP JPY. So we want to see something of this nature, then we'll move all the way back up, right? But this is only happening on GBP JPY. If we compare it to the other pair, before we go to Euro JPY, let's check on the 15-minute time frame of GBP JPY. All right, now on the 15-minute time frame, we've also not seen a clear market structure shift. As we've seen this already pushed out, right? So this is a low, this is a high. Now we're seeing this is a shoulder now, say, and we've seen a price has already taken out this high on the 15-minute time frame. So what we should expect to see is price coming, which is still in alignment with what we've seen on the 1 hour time frame, meaning price coming all the way to tap into this zone that we have here for a sell, for a buy, meaning we want to see price after break out of this zone, then we should see a pullback all the way to this level for a buy again to continue. All right, so that is that for GBP JPY. What do we have playing out on Euro JPY as we round up for the day? For Euro JPY on the daily time frame, we are going to observe that price has already gotten to our POI that we marked some time ago. If you trace it all the way back, we are going to observe price traded into the daily order block at this premium high. And as we said, this particular level ought to be protected. Price should not take out this high because it is the high for last year. All right, now for this year, we've seen how that price has not really tapped into that level. Just tap into that order block as a reference and begin to push to the downside. But something happened yesterday on GBP, Euro JPY. We see how that the sell was very massive for the week all the way to the downside. And we see that price took out this liquidity point, right? After taking out this liquidity point, we see the break of market structure, which is this high here. And we are expecting price to come all the way to take out this liquidity and we start buying again to the upside. And that is exactly what played out. Your 1:2 and expect to see moving forward for GBP Euro JPY. For Euro JPY moving forward, we've already seen market structure shift on the 1 hour time frame for Euro JPY. We've already seen market structure shift compared to what we have on GBP JPY. We've already seen market structure shift on Euro JPY. So the entry should be on 15 minutes if there's going to be any pullback. All right. So we've seen a sweep and break. Now, what we should expect is as price is coming down now, when price gets to the low of the Asian session, which is this particular point, then we want to look for opportunity to long back again for Euro JPY. So this is it for today on the yen correlated pair and also for the precious metal. If there's any question, you can easily check out. If there's any question, let's quickly look into it before we call it a day. All right. Now for today's news, as we've said, now you can see how that is still tentative. Yes, NFP is tentative. Is not yet still certain for today. Just as I said earlier on, it's not yet still certain. So we are still looking at if it's going to be or not, then we know the move. But based on what we have going on in the United States now, there's high tendency it is not going to come out today. And if it doesn't, then that means, you know what that means for the dollar? Then that means the dollar is going to be somehow, weak while we keep on moving on the dollar corrected pair and the precious metal. If there's no further question, this is going to be the end of the market call brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. Till we meet again by 2 p.m., make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. Once again, I'm Lekonshemi. Cheers and God bless.